Correct writing, exercise 11, direct objects and predicate nouns. This exercise refers to the 3 sentence patterns we have studied before. The first pattern is just subject-verb. The cat sleeps, the dog barked. Or pattern 2 has the direct object. Jason ate the pizza. She read a book. Pizza and book would be the direct objects, remember? Because they get the action. The subject does something to them. So that's your second pattern, and those are direct objects. The subject does something to that thing or that person. And the third sentence pattern, remember, is where all you're really doing is describing the subject. The describer comes after the verb, but it describes the subject. Fifi is a dog. Fifi is happy. So happy and dog refer back to the subject, but they come after the verb. That's why they're called predicate nouns or predicate adjectives. Basically, you have 2 parts to the sentence. You have the subject part, and then you have the predicate part, and that includes the verb and everything else after it. Okay, so that's what they mean. That predicate noun is in the predicate part of the sentence, but it's a noun that refers back to the subject of the sentence. This is important because this completes sentence structure. Sometimes you just have a subject and a verb. The cat sleeps. You're done. But often the sentence is incomplete without what they call the complement, either the direct object or a predicate noun or adjective. Once you have that pattern, and you know which pattern it is, everything else in the sentence is just decoration. That is the core of the sentence, whether it follows pattern 1, pattern 2, or pattern 3. That's the core. Everything else just tells you more about the core. The adverbs will tell you where, when, or how, or why the action happened. Adjectives are just going to will describe any nouns in the sentence. Right? Prepositional phrases, again, they function like adjectives and adverbs, so they're kind of extra as far as the structure of the core of the sentence. And that's the picture that we will complete here with this exercise. All right. In each of the following sentences, underline the complement. Then identify the complement by writing in the space at the right one of the following abbreviations. DO for direct object, PN for predicate noun. I think it will help if I give you the subject and the verb as well. But the only thing you need to put in the column is the complement. Okay, so let's look at number 1. Dr. Rose is a pediatrician in Baltimore. Dr. Rose is the subject, is the verb. Pediatrician just redefines Dr. Rose, tells us more about her. So this is a predicate noun. Dr. Rose is the subject, there's the verb is, and from the verb over to the end of the sentence is called the predicate. So pediatrician is in the predicate part of the sentence. That's why it's a predicate noun. But it's a noun that describes the subject. Okay, number 2. No one in the room understood a word that he said. The subject is no one. The verb is understood. And the direct object is word. What got understood? The word, right? The subject does this to that. Word is the direct object. Number 3, after dinner, we visited Martha and her new baby. We is the subject, visited is the verb. Now who got visited? Who got that action? Martha and baby. So both Martha and baby are direct objects. After dinner is just a prepositional phrase, telling when. Dr. Voigt is a French professor at the University of South Dakota. Dr. Voigt is the subject, is the verb. Professor just describes Dr. Voigt. The question you need to ask yourself is Dr. Voigt doing something to this French professor? Or is he the French professor? If it's the same person, Dr. Voigt and professor are the same person, like Fifi is a dog, Fifi and dog is the same creature, then you know it's predicate noun. It's sentence pattern 3. If I say Dr. Voigt hired a French professor, then French professor would be a direct object, right? Because he did something to that other person. But here, professor and Dr. Voigt are the same person. So that makes them a number 3, pattern 3, predicate noun. Number 5, in 1783, the signing of the Treaty of Paris ended the American Revolution. Now, you'll probably think this is weird, but signing is the subject. We're talking about this activity, and we call that activity signing. See, of the Treaty of Paris, those are prepositional phrases. They can't be subjects. So the signing ended the American Revolution. Okay, what got ended? The American Revolution. That's a direct object. 6, the treasurer of the college requested our presence at the alumni dinner. Treasurer is the subject, requested is the verb, and presence is the direct object. What got requested? Our presence. See? You just have to ask yourself what got, and then say the verb. And if there's an answer, you have a direct object. Notice, once we have treasurer requested presence, all the other words are just fillers. They're just extra. They're decoration. Of the college just tells us more about the treasurer. At the alumni dinner just tells us where. So when you're looking at the sentence, then I hope you can see more clearly what is essential in the sentence, what you need for a sentence, and what is extra. Okay, number 7, the president-elect of the board has always been the presiding officer. President-elect is the subject, has been is the verb, and officer is the predicate noun. President-elect and officer are the same person. You're just renaming that person. So that makes that a predicate noun. The president is not doing something to the presiding officer. He is the presiding officer. Okay? 8, at the class reunion, I renewed old friendships. I is the subject, renewed is the verb. Now, am I an old friendship? No. What got renewed? The friendships. So friendships is a direct object. I did this to that. Number 9, has Crystal given you the invitation list? It's a question. Turn it around. Make it a statement. Crystal has given you the invitation list. So the subject is Crystal, the verb is has given, and the list is your direct object. She gave the list to you. Okay? Number 10, she has really become a wizard with computers. She is the subject, has become is the verb, and wizard is the predicate noun, because she and the wizard are the same person. Wizard just describes she. 11, don't let these terms scare you, okay? The word emeritus and laureate are just titles of honor, okay? That's all you need to know. Robert Shaw is music director emeritus and conductor laureate of the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra. Robert Shaw is the director and conductor. So we have 2 predicate nouns. Okay, he's 2 things. We know we can be 2 things, right? You can be a friend and a sister. You can be a daughter and an aunt, right? So you can be 2 things. 12, will the organist perform 2 different programs? It's a question, make it a statement. The organist will perform 2 different programs. Organist is the subject, will perform is the verb. What gets performed? Programs. So that's your direct object. 14, his cousin became the first woman on the company's board of directors. The subject is cousin. The verb is became. Woman is the predicate noun because cousin and woman, they're the same person. His cousin became the first woman on the company's board of directors. Before, they were all men. Now she is the first one on the board who is a woman, okay? And that's his cousin. She is his cousin, okay? So cousin and woman are the same person. The cousin isn't doing something to that woman. If I say, my cousin likes the woman, then it would be a direct object. But they're not separate. This is the cousin and the woman are two different people. They're one person. So if it's just one person, it's a pattern 3, it's a predicate noun. 15, I forgot the most important thing on my grocery list. The subject is I, the verb is forgot, and the direct object is thing. What was forgotten? What got forgotten? And that's the direct object. I am not a thing. Right? All right, so the direct object thing. 16, Daniel Boone made his first expedition west of the Appalachians in 1767. The Appalachians is a range of mountains. Daniel Boone is the subject, made is the verb, expedition is the direct object. What got made? The expedition. Everything else in the sentence is extra. His and first just tell us more about the expedition. West of the Appalachians just tells us when, where, and in 1767 tells us when. So all the rest of that's extra. Where and when, what kind of expedition. Okay, so all those adjectives and adverbs are extra. That's why we're focusing here on the backbone of the sentence, the core structure of it. Number 17, I really do not like answering machines. The subject is I. The verb is do like. Remember, really is an adverb and not is an adverb. Okay, I do not like answering machines. What get liked? Answering machines are not liked in this sentence. So answering machines is a direct object. 18. Uncle Jesse was the first member of our family to graduate from college. Uncle Jesse is the subject, was is the verb, and member is the predicate noun. Of our family is in a prepositional phrase, okay? And they're extra. They're always going to give you extra information about the core sentence. All right, 19. Nevada is definitely my choice for our family reunion. Nevada is the subject, is the verb, and choice is the predicate noun. Choice and Nevada. Nevada is the choice. The choice is Nevada. Nevada's not doing something to the choice. It is the choice. Okay? So that makes that a predicate noun. 20. In 1974, Hank Aaron became the all-time leading home run hitter. Hank Aaron is the subject, became is the verb, and hitter is the predicate noun. Hank Aaron and the hitter are the same person. You're just renaming him. Okay, number 13. The station welcomes your comments and suggestions. Station here probably means like radio station or TV station. So the station is the subject. What does it do? It welcomes. That's the verb. What gets welcomed? Comments and suggestions. So we have two direct objects in this sentence. I hope that this exercise helps you see the core of the sentence and then how everything else is decoration around it. Just gives you more information. Prepositional phrases, adverbs, adjectives. They add more detail, makes the sentences more interesting and more exact, but they are not essential to a sentence. What's essential to a sentence has to follow one of those 3 sentence patterns.